So, continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, Purusha Shukta Confirmed, text number 36 onwards. So, Brahmaji is further speaking to Narad Muni and he's saying to Lord Krishna, Nato asmi sorry. Nato asmi aham tacharnam samiyusham bhavachiddam swastyayanam sumangalam yohi atma maya vibhavam smaparayagya yatha navah swantamatha parikutah. Therefore, it's best for me to surrender unto his feet. So therefore means, like in previous verses, he said, because I have taken shelter of his feet, um, anything that I say, it has never been proven to be false. My mind never gets bewildered, and senses don't run after anything material. So he's saying, therefore, it is best for me to surrender unto his feet, which alone can deliver one from the miseries of repeated birth and death. Such surrender is all auspicious and allows one to perceive all happiness. Even the sky cannot estimate the limits of its own expansion. So, what can others do when the Lord Himself is unable to estimate His own limits? So, Brahma is saying even the sky cannot estimate the limits of its own expansion. So, even he's saying even Lord cannot estimate His own limits. Let's see what Prabhupada says. Lord Brahma, the greatest of all learned living beings, the greatest sacrificer, the greatest observer of the austere life, and the greatest self-realized mystic, advises us as a supreme spiritual master of all living beings that one should simply surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord in order to achieve all success, even up to the limit of being liberated from the miseries of material life and being endowed with all auspicious spiritual existence. So, taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, being fully surrendered, has everything auspicious that we can think of. In the material world, like Brahmaji said, whatever he said always comes true, and his senses don't go here or there if he has taken shelter. And then it can only give uh, freedom from the repeated birth and death. Means one can go back to the spiritual world just by holding on to the lotus feet of Krishna. Lord Brahma is known as Pitamaha, or the father's father. A young man consults his experienced father about discharging his duty. So the father is naturally a good advisor. But Lord Brahma is a father of all fathers. He is a father of Manu, who's the father of mankind all over the universal planets. Therefore, the men of it on this insignificant planet should kindly accept the instruction of Brahmaji and would do well to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord rather than try to estimate the. So, of finding about Lord, we try to find out about his potencies, or just take Brahmaji's word. And Brahmaji, and according to like Prabhupada is explaining, Brahmaji is respected all over the universe by everybody, knowing he is the father of every living entity. And if we try to understand Krishna by our own uh, means, by our own mind, mental ability, Prabhupada is writing, his potencies are immeasurable as confirmed in the Vedas. So Krishna's potencies cannot be measured. He is the greatest of all, and all others, even the greatest of all living beings, namely Brahmaji, admits that the best thing for us is to surrender unto him. Therefore, only those persons with a very poor fund of knowledge claim that they themselves are Lord of all that they survey. And what can they survey? They cannot survey even the length and breadth of a small sky in one small universe. The so-called material scientist says that he would need to live 40,000 years to reach the highest planet of the universe, being carried by a Sputnik. This is also utopian because no one can be expected to live 40,000 years, especially not in Kali Yuga. Satyuga, yes, people used to live for 100,000 years, but that time they didn't need any spacecraft to go to Brahmaloka or any other planet. They were so pure and so powerful, they could go. But in Kali Yuga, it's only this problem, whatever Prabhupada is writing, is only in Kali Yuga. They want to see for themselves, they want to feel, then they'll believe. But it's not possible. 40,000 years, they say, Sputnik was like in 1960s, that was a space shuttle. Now, okay, they have faster shuttles or faster spacecrafts. Okay, so not 40,000, maybe they need 20,000 years or 10,000 years to reach the same distance. But that's also not possible for anybody to live that long. But even this is only their speculation. Just like Prabhupada Neil Armstrong and two more to moon in 60s. So Prabhupada did explain that they didn't go to moon. Many reasons he gave. And then he said, even if they went to moon, suppose they are claiming we went to moon, so suppose we admit, okay, they went to moon. But moon planet is a heavenly planet, so it should have lots of buildings, lots of population, lots of activity going on. And but these people, he said, when they went, they didn't see anything. They just saw some dirt and then they brought back some rocks. That's all. So he said different things. He said one thing he said was, so first of all, they didn't go. Secondly, even if they went, so the people or the administration of moon planet, because it's a heavenly planet, it is so strong that they can make this spacecraft land in the desert of their own planet. There should be. There might be a desert on moon planet where they let the spacecraft land. So the spacecraft people just roamed around for a while and they didn't see anything and they came back. Even if these people, scientists claim they went to moon. And also, since it's a heavenly planet, their body structure is different than ours. So our equipments or our instruments cannot see those people because their structure is different. So there are many reasons. So even if, like here he's saying, to go to the highest planet, which is Brahmaloka, even if somebody goes there, even if not a person goes, even if they send some machine, some spacecraft, won't be able to see anything because this spacecraft is designed according to our eyes, which has limitations to see only the people of this planet Earth. The atmosphere on other planets are different, so the bodies are also different. So we need those eyes to see those people, which we don't have. One scientific man who had no belief in God was very much enthusiastic in making plans for his material existence and therefore opened a hospital to save the living. But after opening the hospital, he himself died within 6 months. I don't know which scientist Prabhupada is talking about, but somebody must be there. So he made a plan that people should live for a long time or maybe forever. And he opened a hospital, and he himself died 6 months after he opened the hospital. So what's the use of all this calculations and scientific research and spending time and effort and money, and in fact wasting a useful human life? So one should not spoil his human life, his species of life, especially simply for the concocted material happiness of life, through increasing artificial needs in the name of advancement of economic development and scientific knowledge. Rather, one should simply surrender unto the feet of the Lord to make a solution to all miseries of life. This is the instruction of Lord Krishna directly in the Bhagavad Gita, and that is the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam by Brahmaji, the supreme father of all living beings. But this line that one should rather simply surrender unto the feet of the Lord to make a solution to all miseries of life. This is what scientists and modern people, modern politicians, they don't like this line. They say if we just surrender, then what is the use of so much of intelligence and brain and we can develop technology, we can develop the human race, we can provide more and more facilities, but we have to see the end result actually. Yes, spending so much of time and energy and money into newer and newer scientific inventions is great, newer and new technology. But what is this technology leading us to? The smartphones are becoming smarter and smarter, and people are becoming dumber and dumber now because everything is there in the smartphone. So why should I memorize anything, or why I should be intelligent to think on my own? So new and new technology is being developed in medical science, which is very good. But at the same time, newer and newer diseases are also being developed because of our lifestyle, because of our sinful activities. So how do we counteract that? Like 50 years ago, had we ever heard of swine flu and mad cow disease and the chicken flu, chikungunya? All these diseases I never heard of. Cancer was considered like, okay, the big disease, and anybody even hear of cancer and he would like die because of fear instead of because of cancer. Now, so many diseases, so many hospitals. In any city, if you go to, so many hospitals, and every hospital is always full. So what's the purpose, the real purpose behind having so much of medical advancement if people should live healthy and long life? But it's happening the other way around. And so much of technological advancement and, as I said, making computers. Like when the computers came first into the market, you know what they used to say, that computers will do the work of human being and the human beings will not have to work more than 4 hours a day to do the same kind of work, and they will have more time for family, more time for themselves to pursue their hobbies. But more the computers are there, people are becoming more and more busy. They have less and less time. They're always busy on computers. And now with the smartphones and with WhatsApp and Facebook, we hardly have any time. So this is what technological advances do. And it makes us more impersonal among ourselves. We hardly talk to each other. We would like to chat with hundreds of people on our groups, but talking to each other in the same family, it's becoming rarer and rarer. And more the technology advances, more we make advancement in technology, more people go away from worshipping and taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because they think we can do everything by our technology. But technology also leads to big, big wars, big, big weapons, more sophisticated weapons, but that leads to more deaths in case of a war. Earlier, of course, Mahabharata time, if we keep that aside, because they were very expert fighters. But earlier wars of Kali Yuga, say World War, if we don't look into the atomic weapons that America used, hydrogen bombs on Japan. So how many people could they kill with a single bullet? One. And that too, it has to be right on target. But now you throw one missile or one bomb and one can kill what, 350 people, just one bomb, or more people, many more people. So more and more we are advancing technologically, more and more we are getting away from surrendering unto Krishna. So what's the point? What's the purpose of this advancement? What's the purpose uh, of making so many things except serving Krishna when it doesn't lead us to serving Krishna? In Shrimad Bhagavatam, if we read, when we read through the whole Bhagavatam, we'll see the basic setting of Bhagavatam is very conducive for people living in villages. It's very simple for them. But actually, now the villagers also getting so much of enamored by the city life, the glamour of city life. They're running towards city. But the village life, if somebody can live there, it's simple and it's pure and it's very healthy and very close to nature, very close to God. One can live that life. It's very simple life. Actually, the life should be simple. But we have made it very complicated. Very, very complicated. Prabhupada said, all we need is a person, one family to live. All they need is 1 acre of land and one cow, and that's it. They can grow their own food, or somebody can grow something, and this person can grow something, and they can have the barter system and have one cow, and that's it. One can live happily. By doing the physical work in growing, in cultivating the lands, one remains healthy, and you don't need lots of computers or this and that to grow crops. And that's it. A cow will give milk. You drink milk, you eat your own grown food. How many clothes one needs? Not too many. It's just because of artificial civilization we live in, we have lots of needs. Otherwise, we don't need all these things. And Prabhupada did say, and whatever time is there, free time, just chant Hare Krishna. And that's it. It's so simple. But now we are so much used to all this artificial life, we cannot even think of going back to the farm life or the agricultural life. And this is what Prabhupada is writing. One scientific, so one should not spoil a human life, species of life, simply for the concocted material happiness of life through increasing artificial needs in the name of advancement of economic development and scientific knowledge. Rather, one should simply surrender unto the feet of the Lord to make a solution to all mysteries of life. That is the instruction of Lord Krishna. Anyone denying the surrendering process as recommended both in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and for that matter in all authorized scriptures, will be forced to surrender unto the laws of material nature. So if you don't surrender to Krishna, we have to surrender to Maya. The living entity by his constitutional position is not independent. He must surrender. either unto the Lord or unto material nature. Material nature is also not independent of the Lord. Since the Lord himself has claimed material nature as Maya. Therefore, material nature is also controlled by the Lord, or he has claimed it as he has claimed in the Bhagavad Gita. And living beings, being superior to energy to matter, have choice and discrimination, either to surrender unto the Lord or to surrender unto material nature. So Prabhupada is writing, we should surrender only unto the Lord. So long purport, I'll go towards the last paragraph. In the scriptures, it is said, Brahma Saukyam Tvanandam, spiritual happiness is unlimited. Here it is said that even the Lord cannot measure such happiness. This does not mean the Lord cannot measure it and is therefore imperfect. The actual position is that the Lord can measure it, but the happiness of the Lord is also identical with the Lord on account of absolute knowledge. So the happiness derived from the Lord may be measured by the Lord, but the happiness increases again. And the Lord measures it again. And then again, the happiness increases more and more. And the Lord measures it more and more. Just like when somebody asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, can Krishna create something so heavy that he himself cannot lift? It was a very tricky question. If Prabhupada had said, yes, Krishna can create something that he cannot lift, means Krishna is not omnipotent. And if he had said, no, Krishna cannot create something that he cannot lift, then again, there is a limitation on Krishna. So how Prabhupada answered? It's similar to this one. Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna can create something that he cannot lift, and next moment he will lift it. Means Krishna's energies are always increasing. So he himself cannot measure his energies. Just like Prabhupada talked about happiness. His happiness is always increasing. So at one moment, at a given time, he can measure, but then his happiness increases. Then it measures it again. Then it increases again. So there is no limit to his happiness or to his measuring capability. Similarly, his strength, similarly, all of his opulences, they're always increasing. The material ocean is stagnant, but the spiritual ocean is dynamic. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami has very nicely explained this dynamic increment of the ocean of spiritual happiness in the transcendental person of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. So this increment of ocean of spiritual happiness is in Srimati Radharani. It's in the control of Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani, the kind of pleasure she gives to Krishna, nobody can give. Means her pleasure-giving potency always increases. And so is Krishna always. His tasting of that potency is always increasing. So there is no limit. And there is no end of it either. That is Krishna. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Sorry, today we covered only one verse. And just one announcement, there won't be any class for next 2 days. I'm going to Dallas tomorrow. So you have free weekend to enjoy whatever you want to do. I mean, I won't give the class, but maybe if Radha Prabhu agrees, she can take the class. That'll be great. So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.